This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Haba. We continue in Mishna Berura, Daf Hashavua. We're learning Hilchos Tefillin. Siman Chaf Zayin. Siman Chaf Zayin. Yesterday we saw Siman Chavav. Let's say you only have one tefillah. Now I wonder how many people, if they saw the title of that shiur, someone who only had one tefillah, if they're going to know what that's talking about. Usually we're not accustomed to referring to one bias as a tefillah. We call it one tefillin, but tefillin is plural. Siman Chav Zayin. Mekayim hanachasan v'oifen hanachasan. The place to put the tefillin, the location to place the tefillin, and the manner of putting them on. Says the Mechaber, Mekayim hanachasim shel yad b'zraya smal. The place to put the tefillin on the left arm. Ba'basar hatafuach sheba etzem. The flesh that is elevated, the flesh that is puffed up on the bone. Shebein hakovdo uveis hashachi. Between the elbow and the armpit. Meaning, where the bicep begins to go up. Okay, so where the flesh begins to go up, that is the starting part of the tefillin. V'yate hatfila me'at letzad haguf. Now, you don't put it when your arm is straight up in middle of the width of the arm, but it should be inclined slightly toward the body, be'inyan, in such a way she kishayachayv zroyay lamata, when you bend your arm down, you keneged libay. It will be opposite your heart. In other words, the arm has two positions. One position is when you hold it straight, when you're putting on the tefillin, but then there's when the arm is on your side. Now when the arm is on your side, it's automatically turning toward the body. Now if you put it smack in the middle of the arm, then the tefillah will not be directly on the heart. But if you incline it a little bit toward the body, then when the arm is resting on the side, the tefillin shel yad will mamish be resting on the heart. V'nimsa mekayim v'hayu hadvarim ha'ela al levavecha. And by putting it in this location, you will be fulfilling that these words will be on your heart. On your heart. Says the Mishna Berura. Smile, your left arm. Yadcha midachsiv yadcha behei. From the fact it says yadcha with a hey, Perush, we darshan, yad kea, the weak hand. Dahainu hasmail, shehi tasha, it is weaker, v'cheha, and more dimmed. V'oi darshu, Chazal darshan further. Midachsiv ukshartam, uchsavtam, maksiva, biyamin, just like writing is with your right hand. Shekein derech b'nei adam, that is the way of most people, they write with their right hand. Av kshira biyamin, the tying is with your right hand. V'kiven de kshira biyamin, memela hanacha b'smail. V'menicha biyamin, af b'diavad layat. If you put on the wrong arm, you're not even yotze b'diavad. Now, let us see next Mishna Berura. Ba'basar hatafuach. V'hamakom hanikra kiboires b'lashon Chazal. Chazal referred to this location as the kiboires. Chazal refer this as the kiboires. Chazal refer this as the kiboires. V'hu li'ikuva, and it's ma'akev to be in this place. K'di'alfinon lazeh b'gemara mikra, like the Gemara darshans from a pasuk. Says the Bir Halacha, Ba'basar hatafuach, v'tzarech lizar shalei kitzei tefillin lamata mibasar tefillin. You have to make sure that not even an iota of the tefillin goes below the basar hatafuach. Kamay b'shel roish, v'tzarech lizar shalei kitzei ametzach. Just like the shel roish, you have to be careful that not even a little bit is on the forehead. Kilakaman. The same way we know that the shel roish cannot be below the hairline, the shel yad cannot be below the makom hakibayras. Now what is the koivdai the Mishna Berura says? Hanikra elen boigin. The kaibdai is the elbow. Beroish ha'etzem. Beroish ha'etzem. That is going on the Rama. So we have to see the Rama. The Rama says Haga. V'tzarch laniach beroish ha'etzem hasamach l'kaibdai. You need to put it at the beginning of the bone next to the elbow. Avoloi b'chatzio etzem shesamach l'shechi. Not the half of the arm that's near the armpit. She'ein loy yad. Fine. Let's hold it over there. What is the Rama adding? What the Rama is adding is that if you make a muscle, the muscle begins close to the elbow. The muscle begins to ascend, and the muscle occupies a pretty significant percent of the area between the elbow and the armpit. Now, from just reading the Mechaber, you would think that you have the entire tricep or the entire bicep to put the tefillin. Even though if you would measure from the elbow to the armpit, the halfway point of the arm would be somewhere in the middle of the muscle. But the Mechaber just says it has to be from where the flesh begins to ascend, and the Mechaber does not say that, the Mechaber doesn't say where is the highest point you could put the tefillin shel yad. Comes the Rama that it has to be in the beginning of the muscle, next to the elbow, and not in the half of the bone next to the armpit. Meaning the Rama is giving you very little wiggle room to put your tefillin. Meaning it has to start from where the bicep begins to ascend, and it basically ends at the midway point of your arm. And according to Rama, you don't want your tefillin going in the upper second half of the arm. So that makes it extremely difficult to have enough space to put your tefillin. Now what do? Do you err on the side of you want the tefillin not to occupy the upper half of the arm, or do you err on the side, you don't want the tefillin to go below the bicep? Because the Mechaber says, it can't go below the bicep. The Ramah says it can't go above the midway point of your arm. So, which factor is more important? Because unless you have really small tefillin, it's difficult to fulfill both requirements. Let's see the Mishna Berura. Beroish ha'etzem. Says the Mishna Berura, Ein rutzon olam beroish ha'etzem mamish. Doesn't mean mamish the beginning of the arm. Da hasam adai noma chabasar. There the flesh is still low. Va'ad sheyas chalias gavaya. Until it begins to become high. Ein makom tefillin. It's not a place of tefillin. The ein alzeh shem kibaris. That's not called the kibaris. El rutzon olamer begoiva habasar shebe'etzem. The height of the flesh of the bone. The Rama is not being mechadesh anything by saying Beroish ha'etzem, but he is being mechadesh something in his second point. Rak b'mashasim, just what the Rama concludes. Avaloi b'chatzi ha'etzem shesamach l'shachi, not the half of the bone that's near the armpit. V'rot salomer av sheyesh gam sham adayin miktsas basar tefuach. Even though you have over there some bicep, you don't want to have it on the second half of the arm. V'gam dasa mechaberu kain the dafka mea chatzi ha'etzem l'mata k'demucha b'siv zayin. The Mechaber agrees to the Rama that the tefillin can't be above the halfway point of the arm. That which the Mechaber says it should be on the bicep, which would seem to imply anywhere in the bicep, al karcha gamkein, that has to be the kavanase mechatzi ha'etzem l'mata, from the halfway point of the arm and below. So the Rama and the Mechaber both say you cannot have your tefillin above the halfway point. I am not confident to tell you that if you have a regular pair of tefillin that start at the beginning of the bicep, that you will get in the whole tefillin before the halfway point of the arm. I don't really think so. I don't think so. So what do we do? So either you buy very small tefillin, or you follow the Gra. V'hagra b'biura hiskim ladina. The Gra, in his commentary, is maskim halacha d'chol makom hakibares kashal l'neich b'tefillin. That anywhere on the bicep is kosher to put on tefillin. V'chein mashma b'prisha. So the Gra is taking on the two heavyweights, taking on the Mechaber and the Rama. The al kapanim lamata mimakam hakibares, below the bicep pasul kulayama. That's no good according to everyone. That's why the Chafetz Chaim in the Sefer Shmiras Halashain, the Dirsha brings, encourages people, don't be lazy to roll up your sleeve all the way up, because if you're a little too lazy, roll up your sleeve, ultimately the sleeve is going to push the tefillin down. Therefore, be very careful not to have big tefillin. Big tefillin. Forget the mechaber Rama. You're not going to be yotze. You're not going to be yotze. Basic dairaisa. The tefillin will go below the bicep. Unless you tie it to the first. In the upper half, you should not be making lecharchila. I'm not sure. I mean, I hope we're yotze according to the Mechaber and the Rama. I mean, I guess it depends where you measure from. You measure from the elbow all the way to the. Is it the shoulder or the armpit, or is that the same? Where that would be, it doesn't mean the midway point of the bicep, but it's the midway point of the arm. If all you have is big tefillin, toiv yoiser sheyikshreim bechatzi etzem ha'elyon b'makom shenimtza adayin basar tafuach. If you have big tefillin, better to err on the side of caution of not putting it too low and make it higher if necessary. At least v'yetz b'zal kapanim das hagro shar poiskim. This way, at least, will be mekayim the opinion of the Gra and other poiskim. Mimashiyu munachim lamata mimakayim hakibares. Then it being put below the makam hakibares. V'yetz b'zal leave the kulayama, that you won't be yotze tefillin according to anybody. V'gam bracha yil v'atala. Yeah? Okay, we're going to hold it over here. We're going to try to do tomorrow, okay? So this week we're going to have tomorrow 9 a.m. By the way, if anybody wants to join us, we start today really. Mishna Yomis begins Seder Moyed. We do 2 Mishnayos a day if anybody wants to join us. Mishna Yomis begins Seder Moyed. Okay, have a good day everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Kol Tov. Yeah, sure.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.